This is the A to Z podcast. Expert insights on leadership, business, real estate, investing, and growth.
If you are a middle manager or aspiring to become one, you got lucky. Today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 3 competencies that you need to succeed in leading from the middle. As you know, middle leaders, they're not getting the attention they deserve, the appreciation they deserve. They do a lot of works to make sure that the top management and the front leaders succeed, but they're not getting the credit they deserve. Today, you're going to learn how to make sure that you let your superiors to know what you're doing so that they know the impact that you are having. And also, we know that middle leaders could be the weak link, and that may impact the organization. The 3 competencies that I'm going to share with you, they're going to help you to become a good addition, add value to your team and to your organization. The first competency that you should develop is mastering portfolio management. When you were a supervisor or maybe a project manager, you were leading one team or one project. And it's easy. You have a goal for that team or project. You have a critical path for that one project. Leading that was a cup of tea. Now you are leading multiple teams and multiple projects. It's hard for you to help all of these teams meet their goals and follow all the critical paths of these projects. You're one person, portfolio manager, middle manager. Hard. But if you treat every project and team within your team, bring them together and treat them like one mega team. If you do that, what happens is that you only have one goal, and then also you're going to have one critical path. That's easy to manage. You can have a dashboard, screen, you could look at that goal, the kind of milestones that you need to achieve, and you know the critical path, you know the most important tasks at a given day, at a given week, or month. This is easy if you use one of the project management tools. Many project management tools, they allow you to create portfolio roadmap or a master project, which means you take into consideration all the goals of your projects and teams and come up with one grand goal for the portfolio to the department. And then come up with some objectives, milestones that you need to achieve to meet that grand goal, and then your critical path. And most project management software, they could be able to help you achieve that. That way, you are leading one portfolio. You're not leading multitudes of teams and projects. This makes your life easy. You become effective. You focus more on the big stuff. You're not overwhelmed to go team by team, project by project, trying to follow all of these critical paths. You don't need to do that. The second competency that you need to develop is setting performance goals and measuring success. You, as a middle manager and leader, you are expected to achieve certain performance, not based on you or the portfolio, based on the collective performance of the teams and the projects within your portfolio. That requires you to help each team and project to set goals and measure their success. The book I love about this is The 1 Minute Manager by Ken Blanchard. This is a very thin, small book based on a tale. Of course, 1 minute is a proverbial sticky point, but it may take you more than 1 minute. Sit down with your project leader or team leader for the proverbial 1 minute. Ask them what kind of goal they have for the team, for the project. If in case they set up their goal very low, you can help them, you can encourage them to increase it. But you want to first hear from them before you give them the goals. I have seen some leaders, they give people their goals and how they going to measure their success, when they should communicate. That's maybe in the 20th century, not in the 21st century. You want to make sure that they own their own goals. Let them come up with their goals. If in case it's low or misaligned with the portfolio grand goal, maybe you can help them. But first, let them come up with the goal. And of course, you could be able to help them come up with some milestones to achieve that goal and some metrics to measure their progress. There are different metrics that you could use, but you should agree with that team leader or project manager. One common metrics that you could use is called KPI. The other one is OKRs. This is objectives and key results. Whatever works for you. In my case, I use both. And major companies like Google, Apple, they use these metrics. And I'm sure these metrics are applicable for smaller portfolios and departments. But the key thing is you want to come up the performance goals and metrics together with your leaders, frontline leaders. And then you set up the time. It could be every week, every 2 weeks per month, or once per month. You want to make sure that you talk to them, communicate with them to see where they are, what kind of challenges that they are facing, what kind of support they're looking from you. And of course, at the end of the day, you may need to adjust the goal, maybe the milestones down the road. But the key thing is you want to set the goals with them, come up with the metrics with them, set the period at which you're going to communicate with them, to listen to their inputs, the progress they are making, the reports, and also you to provide them some feedback and make them accountable. The third and the last competency is influencing upward. You are now in the middle. Your success is dependent how much you influence the top leadership. Think about this. The teams and the projects that you're leading within your portfolio, they're going to be influenced by you. They're going to like you. They're going to love you if you meet their needs. They may have some resources, some permissions they need, some approvals, and they're not communicating directly to the top leadership. You are, and you know the top leadership, but you have to build rapport. You need to have good relationship with them. If you are screwed with them, you're screwed with the teams and the projects that are reporting to you. They don't need you. Think about this. If you're a middle leader, and if you're not helping these frontline leaders what they need, why do they need you? Yeah, you can take the position, but they're not coming to you. They're not happy with you. They may try to form a relationship with the top leadership because you're not serving them. That's why you want to be in good terms with the top leadership. To do that, I'm going to give you some tips. The first thing you want to do is understand each VP, each executive, each leader at a personal level. You can research them, you can talk to them, you can ask other people who worked with them, you can observe them. You want to understand them. You cannot influence someone you don't understand. You could also directly ask them, what's your goal this year? What do you like? What you don't like? What are your pet peeves? You can ask them, especially if you have good relationship with them. At the end of the day, you want to know their goals, their aspirations. Remember, these executives, senior leaders like you, they have aspirations. When you go to them, you're not going just to meet your needs or the needs of your people. You're going there to meet their needs and aspirations. If you do that, they are your partner. You become ally. They don't think like you are coming to beg for something to your portfolio or to your portfolio teams and projects. They think that you are coming as an ally, a partner, to help them achieve the big goals that they have. Remember this. The more you succeed influencing them, the more you are a candidate to be their peers. They like working with you. You understand them. You are communicating at their level. They feel like she should come and join us in the C-suite. She would be a great ally if she becomes one of the top leaders. Remember, if you are struggling to influence them now, communicate with them now, you're not a candidate to be promoted as an executive. Some people come to me and tell me that they have been in this position forever. They're not promoting me. They're not taking me to their wing and so on. I always tell them that don't expect until they bring you to their level. Be at their level wherever you are. Once you are at their level, influencing them, communicating with them, giving them feedback they are unable to get because they lack what's happening at the front. If you give them feedback constantly, and if you become their eyes and their ears, what happens? You are a partner. They want to be your peer. They want to be part of you. They want to be your partner at the executive level. But the most important thing you influence them is for your portfolio. You want to make sure that you get the resources you need, the approvals you need, the suggestions, whatever you have to, the top leadership is accepted and endorsed. If you have this ability to influence upward, what happens? You could become a resourceful person. The most important competency you want to have as a leader is resourcefulness. In conclusion, if you are a middle leader, you need to develop these three competencies. You need to know how to master portfolio management. You need to know how to set and measure performance goals. And third, you need to have the ability to influence and manage upward. These skills may take time. Once you develop them, you develop leverage. You could be able to support your portfolio. You make yourself a candidate to become an executive. If you need any support from us, if you need coaching one-on-one or group coaching, or if you want to have a cohort program for your middle leaders, please reach out. Until I see you again in another live session, thank you very much and talk to you soon.